and was outraged that I'd gone into this school, right? She's like, she said to me, Stanley Brown's going to make intellectual mincemeat of you. You know, this was very 90s. Like somehow this would be this like reckoning with a great mind. You'd be like, you make things, you know, I'm going to wipe you clean. And he was thrilled that I was making sculpture. I was actually making objects. And he loved everything from like really cosmic free jazz through to he could talk to you for hours about Donatello and the idea of front and back. And he would say things like, you know, the Renaissance was bullshit, right? And I'd say, why is that? He'd be like, it's bourgeois. Like, he was this tiny little black man, like incredible with a skull cap on and this weird Boyce, you know, the Boyce jacket with the pockets. Which anyone wearing one of those Boyce things with the pockets, I'm like, who's from the baby boomers? And I said, right, what do you mean? And he was like, sculpture in the round. That's for rich people. Sculpture has a front and it has a fucking back. That's how it should be. That's how it's been from ancient time. The Renaissance fucked it up. They wanted you to walk around because that's collectors. You know? I was like, and he was like, there's a back. And Michelangelo figured it out. During, you know, this is this guy who does the most esoteric work on it, the most conceptually rigorous, apparently, sure. And would have these long discussions with me about that Michelangelo by the Rondinelli Pietro had figured out that a sculpture needed its back. You needed to just see the material and understand the journey around a sculpture required dealing with the material. We tried going behind the scenes. I don't know why I'm talking about this now.
I don't know, it's very, yeah, because I asked you about conservative, what does it mean?
So
because my father or mother or whatever, if they had, you know, I remember a Fluxus thing at the Whitney, maybe in the late 70s, and I went with them. And I remember my father and mother's reaction. I remember my father looked at it and went, Fluxus? And he heard that word.
Right.
And he was kind of a conservative guy, he was kind of a conservative guy. And
right.
I don't mean politically, but I mean, you know,
yeah.
Upper East Side liberal Jewish guy. But artistically, you know, there's not a tree in the picture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, so I'm worried that you and we look at the Donatello, oh, it's incredible. Are we like, you know, are we going Fluxus? Are we those guys?
Well, no, and that goes back to my board, and my magnet board, where I believe we are of a generation where, James, I know that you watch every movie. I mean, James...
I try and fail.
Say this, he watches a movie a night.
Tonight I won't, but yes.
Right. Generally speaking, James watches a movie a night. Generally speaking, if we travel somewhere, we try to see every show, we try to see everything we can from, you know, really contemporary through to frescoes. And I believe we're at a moment where a lucky sort of pause in that as long as someone's coming from a place of truth for them, that is important for them, I don't really care how they do it. And I think it's pretty easy to use your body to feel art. I think, you know, the idea that we've all used our minds is great. I get that. But really, if you get used to feeling your body and feeling things, feeling music, you could feel something from art.
You're talking about emotion?
I'm talking about emotion, and I'm talking about the importance of art to connect you to the world.
Yeah.
To get out of isolation.
Well, we would say about an actor, or at least the filmmakers would say that an actor has a level of emotional commitment that is commensurate with the scene.
Right.
Are they committed, emotional?
Right.
That really is, meaning are they truthful?
Right.
Are they honest? And that's really what we're asking for from art. So are you saying that
Fluxus
is truthful?
What's that?
Fluxus, that's truthful.
I find that, yeah, and I, you know, as growing up, for me, Joseph Beuys
very truthful. Joseph
was
Beuys
really hugely important for me, and I understood completely his need to make that body work. But I also understood that, you know, Sigmar Polka and Richter and Baselitz, to some level, if we talk about the German Nazi, needed to kind of counterbalance that. You know, you know, he was, you know, notoriously thought painting was defunct and bourgeois and all that. And as soon as you kind of hear that, you kind of have to rush in. You know, you have to kind of rush into that area, I think, on some level, because I think there's space there. I remember, you know, when I was in London, it was kind of like, well, figurative art is dead. And even emotion in art is dead. I remember Death of the Author had kind of filtered down into art school. And I found that oddly liberating. I mean, it annoyed me and it upset me, but it was kind of liberating because it was like, oh great, so all bets are off. It's kind of like, you know, the Queen is dead, long live the Queen. And, you know, there's that kind of refresh button with art.
But you're not moved by that stuff. You never refer to that stuff when I talk to you.
What do you mean? Like,
well, you're moved by this stuff moves you, right? Stuff from 1500 moves you more than that stuff.
Yeah, at the moment it does. At the moment it really does.
What do you find yourself looking at these days the most for inspiration? Be honest. What era, if you had to pick one?
I'm gonna say two things. I'm gonna put images up. One is where I actually come from, my home, in a way, which is not my home.
What is that?
So this is, and by the way, if I could show you more images from the show, I believe this is in that Renaissance show too. So this is, I went to school up, though you have those red bits, kind of Billy Elliot. Has everyone seen Billy Elliot, the dancing kid? It was filmed on those streets. You got the classic back-to-back, the north of England back-to-back, miners' housing or textile workers' housing. I went to school up that hill to a place called Bedford Fields. And there was this thing called the Woodhouse Mall. I don't know what, like the mall, like Woodhouse Mall, like that's a mall. But it was this...
M-A-W? More?
No, more, I think M-O-O-R.
Oh.
And about 3 times, maybe 2 times a year, this thing called the Feast would arrive, which was largely like Roman gypsies and gangsters and sort of Irish and Northern English, kind of this weird mixture of sort of fairground people, you call them. I remember my mum would be like, they're fairground people, this like category. And they had all these rides.
What kind of people?
Fairground. My mum would call them, those are fairground people.
Carnies.
Yeah.
Carnies, yeah, fairground people. And I had to walk through the Woodhouse Mall to get to my school, which was this like weird, the North of England has lots of like strange, I guess they were probably bombed out areas, but they were also bombed out from the industrial collapse. So these weird wastelands, very stalker by the way. I was thinking, I was like, whoa, this is like literally like Leeds, I'd play in those areas like that. I'd walk through that and that was the ghost ride, right? And I was both terrified of the ghost ride because if you went on the ghost ride, there was like a large chance you'd get robbed or pickpocketed or just ripped off. You know, there was lots of that like, this ride's now £20. You know, like, it was just £1 for that other guy, 20 pence. They'd be like, that's 50 for you. You know, it's kind of weird, nothing made sense. And it was actually quite terrifying because it was so decrepit and it was wrong. But anyway, this skull, you can kind of see these hands with these strange, creepy hands would open. And there was a light show. You see the light? That would like fire through the eyes at night. Which was this strange like mixture of hi-fi and lo-fi simultaneously. And I did a whole series of skulls because I'm really obsessed with the skull and I hate it.
I totally see it in this.
And I'm doing all these skulls and I called them cosmic skulls. And I had this whole like sort of shtick about them and this sort of way that like kind of light seems to fly. And quite honestly, I didn't know why I was doing them. I was just obsessively doing. I was compulsed to do them. You have one. I made while you were cooking me dinner one time, like a kid. Which is actually a good one. Every time I come home, I'm like,
It's in crayon.
it's in crayon. It's in kids' crayon. But it's really, every time I'm like, God, I gotta get back to that hardcore sort of like.
I totally see it in this.
So, I had this whole theory about the skull and Giacometti. I had a whole art historical thing about it. It was really convincing, like no one ever called me on it, though. It was really interesting. And Mona, I was asked by Leeds to come back and talk. Leeds finally kind of like, I guess you're doing okay. You know, they're pissed off with me because I got successful in LA. You know what I mean? Like I didn't go through the system where they could be really proud.
Right.
And somehow David Hockney got it okay. I don't know why. They're like proud of him now. Maybe if he was here, maybe he'd say they were rude to him. I don't know if he is here, but for me it was like you could come back and kind of explain yourself, which is outrageous because to get to Leeds takes like 8 weeks. You know, it's like you can get to London in 6 hours from anywhere, and then from London to Leeds is like 19 days. It's like you got to take the train to York, they take a pony, you know, someone meets you on a hilltop and guide you. But anyway, so I was not going to go. I was like, there's no way. They weren't paying me, they weren't going to pay my ticket. You know, it was complete, like, come and tell us about. Long story short, Mona pretty much forced me to go. Convinced my gallery to like fly me in. I was like super freaked out about going. And I realized I was so highly traumatized that I covered it with all this posturing. I was actually super traumatized to be there. And in the lead up, we were sort of researching Leeds. So get ready. And I saw this guy called Peter Mitchell, who was a truck driver, had photographed Leeds as it disintegrated in the 70s and 80s. And this image was like, fuck, I used to go to that ride. And I saw the lights coming out of the skull. And I can pretty quickly remember this skull, right? I'm not sure if I put it in this one or in the other one. Do you remember which one it was? Maybe it was in all photos. Remember that skull? I did this thing on the Rockefeller Plaza. Right? You see that skull head? It's literally, and by the way, I hadn't yet seen that photo. So I'm still talking about Giacometti and the importance of the skull, when it was a Rosebud moment, to use a film, a Citizen Kane thing for you there, that you never escape from these experiences, right? And art is a way for you to make sense of these experiences. And once you get past that someone's in a robe, or it's Shakespeare and it's weird old English speak, once you get past these sort of very temporary barriers, you actually realize that all these artists are just trying to refresh these basic things. That you had a childhood, that adult life appeared weird, that you saw things, that you processed things, and then you tried to make sense of yourself as an adult, you traversed through. And for me, art, music, film, really helped me do that. I'm going to return back to another image. Leeds, the Yorkshire Ripper.
I'm not familiar with the Yorkshire Ripper. I mean, I've seen this picture.
You've heard of Jack the Ripper, right?
Well, yeah, I'm familiar with Jack.
It's like, he's
I'm
like
going to guess he's in the tradition of Jack.
Yeah, he's in the tradition of Jack the Ripper. And it was sort of 70s, 80s.
He doesn't look very good in this picture.
No, I like this image, and it's on my magnet board because it's double violence. Which again, if I could walk you through this Getty show, the need to show violence and the need to show the suffering of the human body and the need to show the exaltation and the beauty of the body is hand in hand throughout that show. It's a constant dance between, you know, aging and being ugly and old, and being beautiful and young, and being vulnerable, and the skull and violence. This dance in that show, I came out of it and was like, that's how I feel about the world and about art. And you know, turn on the TV and every day you got Trump doing this insane stuff. But anyway, he killed a huge amount of people in Leeds and was eventually caught. It took a while, it was like 18 people or something like this. And one of his victims was found at the end of my street. And this terror, this visceral terror, this guy, and Leeds gets dark at like 2 p.m. and it's foggy, and this bogeyman kind of character. My dad was very dangerous and scary too, so it all kind of merged. And so the idea of a bogeyman and the idea of terror being a figure